think of home. Images of nature flutter into my mind. An almond tree blooming with pink shaded blossoms in the spring. A refreshing breeze that brings the smell of earth before rain in summer. The rustle of fallen leaves under my feet as I walk in fall. And the crisp, cold air in my lungs as I watch the snowflakes in winter. I always feel so serene and so safe when I'm surrounded by nature. Like I am being taken care of by an old friend who gives me a solid ground to walk on, clean water and tasty foods to feast upon, and a sky to dream under. Of course, there are many things I do not know about nature, but I do know that it is the reason why I am alive. Why all of us are alive, really. And here today, we cannot survive without the presence of nature. What would you do if I told you that the earth as we know it will be destroyed tomorrow? What would you do if I told you that the earth as we know it will be destroyed a year later? What would you do if I told you that the earth as we know it will be destroyed a decade later? What would you do if I told you that the earth will be destroyed a century later? And what would you do if I told you that the earth will be gone 1,000 years later? We fear nature's destruction, but it is easier to fear something that will happen tomorrow than to fear something that will happen 1,000 years later, is it not? Now, why is that? The destruction it's exactly the same, yet the amount of fear we feel is drastically different. To find an answer, let's look into the emotion of fear. Think about the decisions you made in the last week or so. Think about why you chose to make that decision and what kept you away from doing otherwise. Why did you spend hours studying a subject you don't really like? Was it because you were afraid of having a bad mark? And why didn't you eat that delicious looking fruit you spotted in the forest? Perhaps you were afraid of being poisoned? Many of the decisions we make in our daily lives are based on fear. In a way, fear is constantly with us, lurking and affecting every decision, which is good, because fear is what keeps us alive, what kept humanity alive for generations. It is a vital and important emotion whose absence would certainly cause destruction. And it is a very strong emotion. The amount of it that keeps us alive does not trouble us. Instead, it frees us. Yet, if the fear becomes too much, it makes life difficult, like a heavy burden is left on our shoulders. It becomes so overpowering and so painful that when extreme fear turns into normal fear, we relax. Which is why when the occurrence of an event is at different times, we do not feel the same amount of fear. If the destruction were to happen tomorrow, us living humans would experience it, would live it, we would see it, we would feel it. If, however, the destruction happened 1,000 years later, we will all long gone by then anyways. So we don't fear. And we don't care. We don't care about the destruction that will be the results of our actions because we won't see it. I believe that is the main reason why we're not taking action. We do not fear nor care about the destruction that will take place in the distant future. But that's not an excuse. Just because we are not the ones that are being harmed doesn't mean we shouldn't care. And even if we do manage to care, to acknowledge this destruction and start taking precautions, it is always because we are afraid of the harm we can receive. We're afraid that we're going to be living in a broken world, buried under a layer of ash and blood. Afraid that our bloodline will live in that world. We only care if we are afraid, if we are in danger. Why does everything always have to be about us? Whatever we do it because we are afraid of the consequences we can receive. It's time we learn that there's a difference between being afraid and being self-centered, between being relieved that we receive no harm and not caring because we receive no harm, between not feeling fear and not caring in general. The day will come when the results of our actions will be unleashed. Maybe us living humans won't see that day. Maybe all of humanity will be long gone before then. Yet, just because nobody sees something doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Maybe we won't be affected. But that does not change the fact that one day, Earth will lose its battle to climate change. And it will be entirely our fault. Unless we care. And not because we will get hurt unless we care, but because of something else. There should be something else other than fear that makes us care. Something we all have. Something that is engraved in our souls. Something that was passed on to us by our ancestors and will have to pass on to the generations to come. I believe that something is the key to stopping climate change. Over the years, there has been many ideas about how we could end global warming, all from various points of view. Some of them were political, some scientific, some religious, some cultural, and these are all valuable, yet they don't apply to everyone. Not everybody has the same political opinion, the same scientific idea, the same religion, or the same culture. We need an idea that will apply to everyone, an aspect which every single person is bound to carry, something we all have to have, something that is ancient and powerful, that comes from the very core and fiber of our beings, something whose absence causes certain, catastrophic, and unutterable destruction in every single imaginable aspect of life. Something whose absence takes away the title and the rank we are all born carrying, and something that connects and unites us all, no matter the political opinion, the scientific ideas, the religion, or the culture. We are all born human. And I do not mean it as in a thinking, multi-celled, intelligent life being. That alone would be a lowercase h human. I mean it as in a capital H human, a thinking, multi-celled, intelligent life being who knows the meaning of their title. A capital H human is a being who cares, and not because they will get hurt unless they care, but because, well, isn't that what human beings are supposed to do? Right now, We are on the eve of a terrible destruction for the earth. But I believe if we have the mindset of justice and reclaim our fallen titles of a capital H human, we may have a chance to save the earth from what we have done.